recorded, but only by a couple of seconds or a minute, kind of ends.
Your life.
Yeah.
I can't find my.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Radio Show, only on Financial News and Talk. Now live in studio, your host, local and national real estate expert and consumer advocate, Ron Siegel.
And hello again. Welcome to Ron Siegel Radio. This is the show with no real boundaries. As we discuss current events, financial markets, politics, sports, even poking fun at the rest of the media, this is the show that connects the dots of confusion delivered by conflicting media reports. We connect the dots, the actions you can take, how your family or business can benefit from current events. Most of all, thank you for joining me. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That's my message, and I will be delivering it every day. We have a very focused show. We only chat about items that affect the roof over your head, your bank account, and anything I feel would benefit you. But before we get into our intriguing content today, please join me in welcoming our featured guest and repeat offender, Welcome back. Jay Kaplan is in the house. Welcome.
Thank you.
Glad to have you with us. And let me remind you, if you ever have any home or finance related questions, I am the consumer advocate looking out for you, and you can reach out to me directly, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or ronsiegelradio.com. Just remember that's the number you call anytime for assistance. When you call that number, it comes directly to me first. There are operators standing by.
Quiet, numbskulls, I'm broadcasting.
While I do have a great team when it comes to developing a financing plan or plan to save you money, I personally work with you, even if you don't have any needs today. Save this number in your phone for future reference, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. And yes, of course, we are celebrating today. I had no clue. Don't get into that one, Jay. I know that you were there and going to go in with that one.
It is what it is.
So I had no idea. Josh, did anyone tell you that today is National Pink Day? And I'm sitting here in a pink shirt. I guess that was just coincidence, but maybe my wardrobe consultant has more sense than me. And being that I know she's not listening right now, I can say that. National Hydration Day. I guess that would be any day that leads us into the weekend. So you better hydrate a lot going into the weekend. Pecan Sandies Day. Pecan Sandies. Speaking about my wardrobe consultant, just walked by the studio door here. Pecan Sandies Day. Okay, I'll go for that one. Detroit Style Pizza Day. Okay, this is probably my first time ever hearing about Detroit style. Personally, Chicago is my favorite. So, and if you're ever in the northern part of Orange County, Tony's Original Pizza. Well, I guess I have to wait for about an hour until we finish this broadcast before. I guess Tony's probably isn't even open this time of day, but we'll look at it. Let's take a look and see what the markets are doing. Dow Jones Industrial Average now down 111 points. The S&P 500 down 283. NASDAQ is up 53. Oil down 88 cents a barrel. We're at 105. I told you we're heading to 130, but we'll see what happens. Oil doing a little better for us right now. But remember, as I shared with you before, gas prices take the elevator up. They take the staircase down. It's just the way it tends to work. So don't expect too much relief at the pump. Although I did see that gas prices dropped once again. So they're down to all the way down to $4.97 a gallon. No, not here in California. We're lovely. $6.38 a gallon. You got to love it. Josh is out there in Vegas at $5.36. Jody, she's at $4.37. And the winner, as usual, is Lori out there in Louisiana. $4.51 a gallon. $4.51 a gallon. And we're at $6.38. Gotta love it, right? Let's see what else is going on in the world. Well, let's think about this one. Jay, I don't know if you heard this story, but I know that I've always got you on the end of your chair when you're here with me. 14 nurses. Have you heard this?
No.
14 nurses at what is it? St. Luke's East Hospital.
St. Luke's.
All due pregnant and due by the end of the year.
Wow.
Now, I don't know what they do in the neonatal ward there, or labor and delivery there in Kansas City. I think that's where it's in Kansas City, Missouri. I don't know what they're doing. Well, maybe I do know what they're doing there, being that 14 of them are all pregnant at the same time. But one of them just had their baby. How'd you like to be out there and having a baby, and maybe there's not going to be any nurses there. Might be a nursing shortage. You never know. Will be exactly. Yeah. Moving right along. Oh, we got news from the Supreme Court already coming out this morning. I don't know if you've seen this one either. Yeah, so much for the concealed carry laws in New York City. That's the latest, is they struck down. You don't have to have cause to have a concealed carry permit in New York. Is it good or is it bad? It's really hard to say, because I'm going to throw it out there to you. I haven't found any criminals that I've come across that follow the law. So laws are made for honest people. They're not made for criminals, because they don't follow. I mean, if the gun issues were so easily solved, why don't we just put a law against mass murder? Oh, wait, there is one. So the bottom line here is, having a law against guns and not going to help. Maybe if we get back to the days, Jay, you and I are old enough to remember Metropolitan State Mental Hospital.
Oh, yeah.
Right? When people that had mental issues were treated, right? We had a state, and it's me, Jay, saying a state-run. I mean, I don't usually say state-run anything, but a state-run facility.
There's few of them, yeah.
Yeah, very few around. But have we gotten rid of mental illness? No. So the bottom line is, we still need to solve the problem, as Kamala Harris would put, the root cause, right? So the issue of these people, these murders, are people that have problems. I don't know what their problems are. I'm not a doctor. I don't even play one on TV. But there's folks that have some problems. And we really need to come up with solutions to help those folks, rather than say, deal with it on your own. Yeah, you're homeless. Deal with it on your own. Why are people homeless? Do you think that they want to be? And I know there's a segment of the population that doesn't mind that they want to be off grid. I know some people that should be off grid. But the issue there are some people that are just sick and need help. And I will be the first to admit, Jay, you're not going to believe this. Hold on tight.
No, I got it.
Under the Reagan administration is when we really started defunding the mental hospitals. Yeah. So it's not a good deal, but we got to put some money back in there, as opposed to some of these other things that don't solve problems. And it's a shame to me. I feel bad that we're in the situation that we're in. And it's amazing when you listen sometimes, and it's scary, because think about what's coming out in the reports from Uvalde right now, right? I mean, the classroom door was unlocked, that police officers stood there waiting for over an hour when they could have gone in. I'm just curious, why? We know what's going on in some of these areas. Now, we did have a longtime police officer that was in on the broadcast with me a couple weeks ago, and he said in this day and age, a lot of police officers are realizing that they need to be historians rather than to protect. They're afraid of losing their livelihood. They're not afraid of losing their life. That was fascinating to me. They were not afraid of losing their life. They were afraid of losing their livelihood, because if they make the wrong call, and I shared with you, I was at a restaurant that's local here. I go to a lot of restaurants. And there was just so happened to be two sheriff deputies sitting at the table right next to us. And yes, and I'm not going to ever tell them who it was, but if you're in a restaurant with first responders, pick up the check if you can, if you have the wherewithal. Just say thank you. You don't even have to say anything. I don't say anything. I just do it. Not patting myself on the back. I just think it's the right thing to do. But this lady that was the police officer there, she had so much stuff on her belt. You know, when you're in the heat of the moment, how the heck do you know what's what when you got to reach down and you've got a billy club, a taser, a firearm, mace, handcuffs, and that was all the stuff that I could see on one side of her. I mean, if you remember, we talked about 40 pounds of gear. I mean, I didn't see this lady without her gear on, but she was not the largest person in the whole world. I bet the gear was probably 40% of her body weight.
Wow.
Just throw that out there for you. So as we watch what's going on in some of these different places, maybe there's some policy changes that we need to be looking at and figuring out what we can do. Maybe we all need to turn the temperature down just a little bit here. You're listening to Ron Siegel Radio, discussing your real estate current events and the financial markets. When we come back, can a reverse mortgage fight inflation? Let's talk about that. Homeownership, a great hedge against the impact of inflation. And what are the four money personality types? Four money personality types. All that and more. You can reach me anytime. Our off-air number, it's 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or ronsiegelradio.com, facebook.com/Ron Siegel Radio. And if you miss any part of our broadcast, Ron Siegel 1 on YouTube. Ron Siegel, the numeral 1 on YouTube. Stay tuned. We'll be back in just a few.
Ron Siegel Radio, your home and mortgage connection.
Do you know a homeowner experiencing divorce? Do you know a real estate reference and the divorce decree could cost tens of thousands of dollars? A certified divorce mortgage planning and real estate report could save you thousands of dollars, and it's free from your local certified divorce lending professional. Reach out to Ron today. RonIsMyLender.com. Again, RonIsMyLender.com. Licensed under NMLS 217037, Equal Housing Lender.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with local and national expert Ron Siegel. Now, here's Ron.
Welcome back to Ron Siegel Radio. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That is my message, and I will be delivering it every day on Ron Siegel Radio or anytime at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. 1990. And yes, we the Mortgage Minute today being brought to you. Easy for me to say it. Is it Friday yet? The Mortgage Minute today being brought to you by our friends at Geneva Financial. When you're ready for that next home loan, Geneva's got the programs and the products. You just need to make the call, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. Let's take a look at what the markets are doing right now. S&P 500 now up 0.45. Can you really call that up?
It's not down.
It's not down. That's so it's, I would say it's flat. I'm not going to go anywhere near the jokes that could be made about it being flat, but that's a whole different story. Let's take a look and see if my screens will repopulate. Sometimes they are as slow as I am, but Earth to computer screen. Tell me what the markets are doing. Let's see if, well, maybe we'll have to, well, maybe not. It's, you gotta improvise. Sometimes in radio, you just gotta take a little second here. Okay. 10-year treasury down 11 basis points. That's good for mortgage rates. Mortgage bonds up 33 basis points. But let's take a look, because today is Thursday, and every Thursday morning at 7 a.m., Freddie Mac tells us what mortgage rates are. Oh, wait. They tell us what they think they are because they're always wrong. So Freddie Mac, they reported this morning. 5.81% is the Freddie Mac mortgage market survey. You got to pay 9/10 to get it. Last year at this time, you're at 3.02. But as a listener of Ron Siegel Radio, you know that OBMMI, they provide the most comprehensive, accurate, timely, and interactive analysis of pricing ever conducted in the mortgage industry, calculated from actual locked rates with consumers across 35% of all mortgage transactions nationwide. What did the loans lock at yesterday? Well, they're getting kind of close. Freddie Mac says 5.81. OBMMI says 5.904 is what they actually locked at. Jumbo's 5.326. FHA 5.691, and the best loan on the market. Sorry, Jay. But it's for the people that earned it. This is our veterans. 5.512 30-year fixed rate VA loan. And for those of you that are in rural areas, easy for me to say, the USDA loan is at 5.665. And all that information, if you knew where to look, is on that super secret website, google.com. And let's talk a little bit about why it's doing what it's doing. Well, the market knows, even though Jay Powell testified before the Senate and his tune on a soft landing changed a little bit. Soft landing means no recession. It changed, as he said, pulling off of a soft landing would be very challenging, and a recession is certainly a possibility. Come on, Mr. Powell, get with it. Mr. Powell's going to have some more remarks today. He's got some question and answers today. But, when you listen to Ron Siegel Radio, I like to give you lots of information. So let's go back to the days when Jay was out there running around 1955.
This Jay you're talking about.
Well, not the other one. He doesn't know what he's doing. You do. So back in 1950, going all the way back to 1955, would it surprise you if I said that every time the Federal Reserve starts hiking rates, it leads to recession? Every time. Go look at about 1957, 1961, 1970, 74, 75, 80, 83, 1990, 2000, 2008. Every time the Fed starts raising rates, we go into a recession. Now, I have this chart. Would it surprise you that Mr. Powell doesn't know this and isn't sharing, or is it just he doesn't want to share it? I don't know the answer. We're heading into a recession. We will be there. Sorry, Mr. Powell, but if you want to get some good information, just listen to Ron Siegel Radio. I just throw that out there. The Fed chairman can call me. Now, Jay, you know something that you and I have completely different than a Fed chair?
No, we have a better chair here.
Experience.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Do you know that other than two of the Fed presidents, none of them have ever had a job other than at the Federal Reserve or academia?
That makes sense. Not out in the field, not getting beat up and feeling what it's really like and understanding what your clients are going through. I understand.
It's amazing. That's the Mortgage Minute, brought to you by our friends at Geneva Financial. When you're ready for that next home loan, Geneva's got the programs and the products. You just need to make the call, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. So Jay and I chat frequently about myths of the reverse mortgage.
Yes.
And it's been quite a while, Jay, since we've had to have a conversation about dramatic inflation.
Yeah.
Right? It's been a long time because, we can talk about, the myths of the reverse mortgage. Most of the myths go back to 1985, but they're still out there today.
Sure,
People are still giving or believe the wrong things just because they don't know any better. Right? They're not out there dealing with this every day. Inflation hasn't been around, for a long time, at least to this level. You go back, maybe in the Bush administration, maybe. Obama years we didn't have much inflation,
No.
and in the Trump years we didn't have inflation. A lot of inflation right now, and we have a lot of people that are getting older.
No.
I'm not, but I mean, look at you, Jay. I mean, you shrunk.
I know, but I started out old.
That's true. I mean, you're the only one I know that can go back to 1955 and still remember those things.
I do.
Okay, so here's the issue that we want to talk about, though, is I'm going to throw some numbers at you, Jay, and I had the luxury of preparation because we never script what we're going to talk about. So if somebody was in the S&P 500 June 1st, 2007, the S&P 500 was trading at 1,535. June 2nd, 2009, it was trading at 931. Big drop.
Yep.
That was 39%. We're only down about 19% right now.
Yeah.
But here's the issue. If you're living on fixed income, if you're living on your investments, if you're have your head out of the sand, you probably have noticed that your retirement account has dropped this year.
Absolutely.
Now, I'm looking at the chart here, or the just the research. That 931 on the S&P 500 on January 2nd, 2009, if you didn't sell your holdings, 5 years later, it had doubled.
As it usually always does. I don't know about the 5-year period, but you hold on to anything long enough and it'll not only come back, it'll increase.
Right. And if you held it even longer, another 8 years, it's like 500% up.
Yep.
Right. So the bottom line here, so the June 1 was at 1535. It drops to 938. 5 years later, it's at 1800.
Mhm.
Now, a lot of people that I come across, and I'm sure you do too, as they get into their golden years, their comment is, I don't want to have a mortgage. I want to be debt free.
Mm.
Do we hear that? Do we hear that ever?
Yes. Yeah, hear that a lot, but you have the best antidote for that when you talk about the coffee can in the backyard.
There you go. So now if you take the money out of this S&P at that 931, what's the likelihood of it growing? 0, right? You took the money out.
You got nobody's working for you in there.
Nothing's working for you. You have no place to go. You're going to spend that money because you want to live, you want to eat.
That's why you took it.
You might have had to go to a doctor. You might have wanted to go on vacation, whatever you needed. Life happens, right?
Yeah.
Marriages, grandkids, colleges, all of that good stuff. But oh, wait a second. I've got a house and I've got all this equity there doing absolutely nothing for me. And I just took the one thing that's working or could work and chopped it down.
Right.
What's the solution in our golden years?
That's it right there.
The reverse mortgage. Right? So you go out and if you're taking it to live, Jay, if I've got Orange County, California, last number I looked at, I'll look at it while we're talking. Orange County, California, the last number I looked at, we're looking at about a little over $1 million median home price.
Yeah.
Median home price, $1 million. And we know that there's a lot of folks that do have that free and clear property because they want to feel good.
Yeah. Or they've had it long enough to where their equity is huge.
Now, Jay, you've been in lending longer than I have.
Longer than anyone.
Longer than anybody, right? I mean, the first mortgage was done by Jay Kaplan.
That's correct.
But here's, that was just done when you did it on a handshake, right? You didn't even have documents.
No, didn't need any of that stuff.
Might have been on a tablet.
What kind of tablet?
Not an electronic one,
There
a
you
stone one, but that's a whole different story. Median home price, $1,016,000. So if I want to do a reverse mortgage, do I have to take all that money to live on this year?
No, you can't take all that money anyway in the reverse mortgage because there are safety valves built into the loan. You take what you need if you need it and when you need it. And like you said, that's a great thing to do when you want to hold on to your equities, to your stocks, whatever you own. It's going to come back. It always comes back, right?
Comes back over time. We don't know whether it's going to be tomorrow or next year or whatever.
It never takes that long usually.
Right.
And you can fill in that time in between when you're not taking it out. On a good year, you take it out because it's still building in the background. On a bad year, it's not building in the background. And you're going to not only not see it build, you're going to take some of that money out and there'll be less money working for you. Not a good thing.
Now, if they follow your guidance, you and I have a similar philosophy on fixed rate versus adjustable rate.
Mm-hmm.
And we both lent money during the 80s when we had double-digit interest rates. So we both know that that's possible. We've lived it.
Yeah, I'm still living in a house right now, my wife and I, and I think it was 16% on the first and 19% on the second one.
And I'm going to suggest that you were probably happy to get it.
Yeah.
Right? My first one was 18% and I think 83 or 84, something like that.
Oh, you got a good deal.
Yeah, I didn't know you back then. Otherwise, I would have called you to get a loan. I could have got a better one.
Yeah, he could have got you the 19 that I got.
Yours was 19 was the second, though. That's
true.
So,
Just
okay.
joking.
But the whole concept that we're talking about here is something that we've been promoting a lot on Ron Siegel Radio recently, is borrow smart. Because just because you took that loan out or you're bridging a gap, you're filling a hole, whatever you want to call it, can you give the money back?
Yes.
We're going to talk more about that when we come back. And give the money. Can we put it back into that equity if that's what we really want to do? Jay Kaplan and I are going to talk about that when we come back. You're listening to Ron Siegel Radio. Homeownership is a great hedge against the impact of rising inflation. What are the 4 money personality types? All that and more. You can reach me anytime. Off-air number 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or ronsiegelradio.com, facebook.com/Ron Siegel Radio. And if you miss any part of our broadcast, shame on you. But the replay is available. Ron Siegel 1 on YouTube. Ron Siegel, the number 1 on YouTube. Stay tuned. We'll be back in just a few.
Ron Siegel Radio. Your home and mortgage connection.
Do you know a homeowner experiencing divorce? Do you know a real estate reference and the divorce decree could cost tens of thousands of dollars? A certified divorce mortgage planning and real estate report could save you thousands of dollars, and it's free from your local certified divorce lending professional. Reach out to Ron today. RonIsMyLender.com. Again, RonIsMyLender.com. Licensed under NMLS 217037, Equal Housing Lender.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with local and national expert Ron Siegel. Now, here's Ron.
Welcome back to Ron Siegel Radio. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That is my message. And I will be delivering it every day on Ron Siegel Radio or anytime at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. The real-time real estate segment today being brought to you by rsrhomescout.com, rsrhomescout.com. Find out what your property's worth. 4th tab over, rsrhomescout.com. Find out, go shopping. 97% of American properties are on rsrhomescout.com. Anywhere in the country, you can go in there and do your own search criteria, price, bedrooms, bathrooms. If you want a bathroom, doesn't matter to me whether you do or don't. I mean, some people want bathrooms. They want them inside. Some want them outside. Whatever the choice is. It's all right there on rsrhomescout.com. Homeownership, great hedge against the impact of rising inflation. If you're following along with the news today, you've heard about rising inflation. Today, inflation is at a 40-year high, according to the National Association of Home Builders, NAHB. Quote, consumer prices accelerated again in May as shelter, energy, and food prices continue to surge at the fastest pace in decades. Surprise, surprise, surprise. This marked the 3rd straight month for inflation above 8% and was the largest year-over-year gain since December 1981. With inflation rising, you're likely feeling it impact your day-to-day life as prices go up for gas and more, groceries, bacon. Yes, my bacon prices did go up. These climbing consumer costs can put a pinch on your wallet and make you reevaluate any big purchases you have planned to ensure they're still worthwhile. And if you've been thinking about purchasing a home this year, you're probably wondering if you should continue down that path or if it makes more sense to wait. While the answer depends on your situation, here's how homeownership can help you combat the rising costs that come with inflation. Homeownership helps you stabilize one of your biggest monthly expenses. Investopedia explains that during a period of high inflation, prices rise across the board. That's true for things like food, entertainment, other goods and services, even housing. Both rental prices and home prices are on the rise. So as a buyer, how can you protect yourself from increasing costs? The answer lies in homeownership. Buying a home allows you to stabilize what's typically your biggest monthly expense, your housing cost. When you have a fixed rate mortgage on your home, you lock in your monthly payment for the duration of your loan, often 15, please don't do that, to 30 years. James Royal, senior wealth management reporter at Bankrate, says, quote, a fixed rate mortgage allows you to maintain the biggest portion of your housing expense at the same payment. Sure, property taxes will rise and other expenses may creep up, but your monthly housing payment remains the same. That's certainly not the case if you're renting, unquote. So even if other prices increase, your housing payment will be a reliable amount that can help keep your budget in check. If you rent, you don't have that same benefit. If you don't, won't be protected from rising household costs. Investing in an asset that historically outperforms inflation, while it's true rising home prices and higher mortgage rates mean that buying a house today costs more than it did even a few months ago, you still have an opportunity to set yourself up for a long-term win. That's because in inflationary times, you want to be invested in an asset that outperforms inflation, typically holds or grows in value. If you're watching us on RonSiegelRadio.tv, any of our socials, or the ABC News and Talk AM 1490 video feed, you're seeing a graph right now. The average home price appreciation outperformed the average inflation rate in most decades, going all the way back to the 70s, making home ownership historically strong hedge against inflation. How do you look at that chart? And it's just pretty fascinating to see what the numbers look like. That you're just looking at a home price appreciation. Prices go up on houses just, well, maybe not as quick as gas prices, but they still go up. So what does that mean for you? Today, experts forecast home prices will go up from here thanks to the ongoing imbalance of supply and demand. Once you buy a house, any home price appreciation that does occur will grow your equity and your net worth. And since homes are typically assets that grow in value, you have peace of mind that history shows your investment is a strong one. And remember our newest of our comments. Jay, I don't know if you've heard this one. This is I didn't coin it. I borrowed this from somebody else.
Mm-hmm.
Marry your house, date your mortgage. Right? You don't have to keep it.
Right.
That means if you're ready and able, it makes sense to buy today before prices go up any further. Bottom line, if you're thinking of buying a home this year, it makes sense to act soon, even with inflation rising. That way you can stabilize your monthly housing cost, invest in an asset that historically outperforms inflation. And as you know, I'm going to ask you, if you have any friends, family, or coworkers looking to buy, sell, or borrow on real estate, can I count on you to send them our way? That is the Real-Time Real Estate segment brought to you by the area trusted real estate professionals of Ron Siegel Radio. Visit rsrhomescout.com, rsrhomescout.com. Continuing our conversation, Jay Kaplan is the reverse mortgage guru. He's the go-to guy when you're looking for a reverse mortgage. He's forgot more about reverse mortgages than most of us ever know about reverse mortgages. But here's the thing. I'm going to recap a little bit. I don't usually do this, but in the last segment, you should have been listening. If you weren't, I'll give you a pass today. So in the last segment, we talked about the idea of not selling your stocks, not liquidating your 401k, not going and liquidating other assets that are down in value right now. We know a lot of them are. We know there's a lot of pain out there. You go to the gas station and it costs you $100 to fill up your car. Well, it would have cost more if you filled it up. The pump stopped at 100, right? And that's just for your Prius. I mean, if you have a full-size car, it's going to cost even more. But there's a lot of people that are, challenged. And the ones that always get the short end of the stick. I don't know why this works this way, but the group that gets the short end of the stick is the seniors that are living on a fixed income, because they don't have the luxury of time. That's the issue right there. So I know they got free time, but not years and years. I mean, there's more in the rearview mirror than the windshield. Because I'm looking at the S&P that we talked about, and it's gone down. It's down 20% almost from where it was just January 14th. Down 20%, give or take. Don't hold me to the exact number. I don't want you to be selling that right now. And I'm not giving you financial advice. I'm just giving you theory, education, some smarts, some alternatives. And we talked in the last segment about do that reverse mortgage. I think you should be doing it sooner rather than later.
Absolutely.
Right? Because we don't know what tomorrow brings.
Right.
I mean, my mother, God bless her, she got melanoma, and 6 months later, she wasn't with us anymore. No plan for something like that. But we needed caregivers during the time. We were fortunate enough that we could do as much as we could. You don't know when those things happen. If you've got that reverse mortgage in place, you don't have to wait 30, 45, 60 days to get it.
No, I mean, if you are an older, and I wouldn't know anything about being an older person, but if you were an older person and a homeowner, you've got real tools at your disposal. You just have to understand them, get by any objections that your neighbors or relatives tell you, get some great information, the right information, call Ron, and he will get you the right information. Your home. Now, you used to say that there was about $10 billion in untapped equity, but that was a while ago.
That's just, I think, in a couple of cities in North Orange County.
Yeah, and now what would that number
Massive. There's massive
be? Maybe
amounts.
twice that much.
Oh, way more than that because we would have gone up 30% just in the
It's
last.
just sitting there. It's not doing anything. But are older people with homes, are they poor? I don't think so. Not with that much money at their
But here's the
disposal.
problem,
A lot
Jay.
of- Yeah.
There are two questions I want to get to you. So first off, if we've got somebody that calls, if you're that person that, or you're, and I always use this line: if you are a senior, you love a senior, or want to become a senior, right? Give us a call, because that's who we're talking to.
That's right.
Right. So take that money, you get that home equity line, or the reverse mortgage
Right.
at home equity
is a
conversion
part of it.
mortgage.
Yeah,
Right?
it's
Every
actually
once in a
called
while.
it's actually called a home equity conversion. So you convert part of your equity into liquid cash, and a regular loan is what? Same thing.
Just a
right?
lien on the property. But here's the
Exactly.
question, Jay. So my 401k is down. If I was a senior, my 401, everybody's 401k is down.
Yeah.
But if I was a senior living off of this,
Then you're
the 401k is down. My other investments are down. I have to deal with RMD. Talk to your tax people about that. But if I take that, if I say, okay, I'm going to leave that just sitting there, anything that I don't over and above what my requirements are, and I get the reverse mortgage, I use the right one. I call and talk to you about the adjustable,
Mhm.
and my investments go back up.
Mhm.
Can I pay back off,
Of
pay that
course you
reverse
can.
mortgage?
Yes,
There's a lot of
That's-
people that don't think you can do that.
of course you can. Now, because sometimes it's important when people think about legacy.
Right.
So they want their home to have as much net equity as possible. But even if you don't put it back, the way that our properties are going up in value, you're still going to have plenty of equity. But if you don't put it back, you probably still have cash in other places, like your bank account that is going to be part of your.
But our savings amounts are all dropping right now,
Yeah,
and we're
but-
starting to
but,
live off of our
you're
credit cards again.
You're going to have what you're going to have is you're going to have, like we said, we didn't fire those dollars working for you in your investments. That whole investment account is now part of your legacy.
Sure. So instead of making that mortgage payment, which is from an accountant standpoint, which I do have, one of my degrees is in accounting. So instead of taking the money from our cash account, our
Mhm.
cash on hand, that's on one side of the balance sheet.
Mhm.
We're taking money from somewhere else, and that cash is staying there.
Mhm.
So the reduction in the balance sheet is still the same.
Yeah, and when you're doing well with your investments, you don't need to do that unless you have another investment, which we don't talk about, but you certainly can, like buy another property and do extra investing,
Sure.
things like that. I mean, you can't do that without having some cash at your disposal to do that with.
Now, let's go to the dark side, Jay. Every once in a while, we have to go to the dark side and throw a little reality into the conversation.
Reality?
Reality. Sometimes reality is a little dark.
Okay.
So I have had a couple of families recently
Mm-hmm.
that have called me, and they've had some life challenges, health issues and whatnot. And they've got boatloads of love, and really. So when we come back, we're going to talk about this.
Oh, okay.
Lovin just told me that I gotta go. So we got a
Okay,
heartbreak
bye.
coming. But
Yeah.
So when we come back, what I want to chat with you about is, what do we do if we have a lot of equity in our house? We're a senior, can't get a loan because as a lender,
Right.
I don't
right.
lend money to people that really need money. It's horrible,
I know.
but I don't
because-
lend money to people that need money. I lend money to people that want money. Right? I mean,
Exactly.
just the way it is. But what if you have that solution, or do you want to make plans so you don't have to worry about that if you do step off the curb and hurt your ankle and can't go to work. Because as disability checks, they don't go very far when you're looking at lending, like at all. We're going to talk about that when we come back. We'll also chat about what are the 4 money personality types. You can reach me anytime. Off-air number 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or ronsiegelradio.com, facebook.com/Ron Siegel Radio. And if you miss any part of our broadcast, Ron Siegel 1 on YouTube. Ron Siegel, the number 1 on YouTube. Stay tuned. We'll be back in just a few.
Ron Siegel Radio. Your home and mortgage connection.
Do you know a homeowner experiencing divorce? Do you know a real estate reference and the divorce decree could cost tens of thousands of dollars? A certified divorce mortgage planning and real estate report could save you thousands of dollars, and it's free from your local certified divorce lending professional. Reach out to Ron today. RonIsMyLender.com. Again, RonIsMyLender.com. Licensed under NMLS 217037, Equal Housing Lender.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with local and national expert Ron Siegel. Now, here's Ron.
Welcome back to Ron Siegel Radio. Within every market, there are solutions, as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That is my message, and I will be delivering it every day on Ron Siegel Radio or anytime at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. What are the 4 money personality types? That's the subject of your Credit Matters segment today, being brought to you by CreditSanitizer.com. You have a credit report. It is wrong. What are you doing about it? Maybe you're someone who has read every book on financial literacy and follow many money gurus, yet no tactic or system seems to stick. It could be that the strategies you're using to shore up your money situation are not in sync with your money personality. The concept of money personality or money script was co-developed by financial psychologist Dr. Brad Klontz and Ted Klontz. In a nutshell, money scripts are your unconscious beliefs around money. Further, your money narrative is deeply rooted in societal norms and expectations and your experiences, observations, and upbringing. For better or for worse, money scripts are usually passed on from generation to generation and are developed in early childhood. Here's the kicker. Your money script is the core drive of your financial habits and behaviors. It can help you understand the why behind negative patterns such as financial infidelity, compulsive shopping, financial enabling, and money hoarding. On the flip side, they can also reveal how you've developed some solid financial habits. There are 4 dominant money personalities. Understanding your primary money personality or money script can help you elevate your self-awareness about your relationship with money. From there, you can make changes for the better. Let's take a look at each of the 4 money scripts and the steps to take to improve your finances for each one. Money worship. Money worshipers believe that money can solve all problems and is the key to happiness. No matter how much money they have, they can never have enough of it. They're constantly chasing after the mighty dollar. They get a high from making money and are often workaholics and put work before everything else. Family, having a social life, their mental health, and hobbies. Everyday habits and behaviors of money worshipers include a tendency to overspend without ever feeling completely satisfied, obsessed with appearing wealthy, carry high credit card debt, put career and money first, often sacrificing mental health, physical health, family, and hobbies. Will offer a loan to members of their social circle, even when they can't afford to. How to improve your relationship with money? Think about how money has driven your professional success and hurt other areas in your life. Are you working a high-paying job but are unhappy? Have you missed out on enjoyment of life's simplest pleasures? Are you the absentee friend, parent, or spouse because work continuously is the top priority? Try to see greater balance in your life, as hard as it might be. Think about how you would conduct your life if you had enough money or more than enough. Take a day off, enjoy time with others, and read a book. Read a book? Money avoid. I could go with that one until I got to read a book. I can't read. Audible.com. Money avoidance. Those who have a prevailing money avoidance script think that money is the root of all evil and to be poor is to be pious. And those who are wealthy are greedy and evil. Conversely, money avoiders feel that not having money automatically makes you an honest, generous, good person. Money avoiders might also believe that they don't deserve money. They often fear having too much money and ascribe to the maxim, quote, more money, more problems, unquote. Having too much money or being hands-on with their money creates fear. On the surface, someone with money avoidance might appear carefree with money, but they often struggle with their finances and have poor financial health. Common habits and behaviors of money avoiders include feel uncomfortable with having too much money, give away money as soon as they're in the flush. Call me, I'll take it. Subconsciously aim to have too little money as possible. They don't check their bank balance regularly, nor do they know what their credit score is. Lack a basic budget and think budgeting is for miserly penny pinchers. How to improve? Start by identifying the root of your anxiety around having too much money. Did you grow up in a household where your family never had enough and felt that the wealthy were preying upon the working class? Or maybe you grew up in a family with bohemians and making a living off of creative pursuits or getting a day job was seen as a corporate sellout. How can money help you with your goals and bring about a sense of security and well-being? Instead of identifying your moral compass for money, what if money enhanced the traits you like the most about yourself? Challenge these beliefs. Last aim to check your bank balance and do this as at least several times a week. How do you feel when you see the number in your bank account? There's two more. I only got to two of them. I want to get back to our conversation with Jay Kaplan. The other two are money vigilance and money status. I'm going to just throw this at you. I've had money. I've not had money. Better to have some money. Just throw that out there for you. So that's a little bit more enjoyable. That is Your Credit Matters, brought to you by creditsanitizer.com. You have a credit report. It is wrong. What are you doing about it? Credit Sanitizer has these solutions for you. Continue our conversation with Jay Kaplan, where he's our reverse mortgage guru. So, Jay, before the break, I made a comment that as a lender, 90% of the time, nothing's absolute, but lenders don't really lend money to people that really need money.
No, because they're looking for some kind of, well, maybe not a guarantee, but as close as possible that those people are going to be able to make the payments to pay back the loan.
Yeah, what do lenders want? They want their money back and they want a return on their money.
Correct.
Right? That's what they're looking for. So if somebody has no job, no income, no assets, no collateral, no loan. Right? It's pretty simple.
Yes.
Now, I've come across a few people lately that, you know, they've got several properties, which only one of them is good for a reverse mortgage. You can't use the one they live in, right? And they're all paid off, and they're struggling because they've gotten their bank account is Zippo.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
So
I know a couple of people just like that.
Serious problem. So they're equity rich, but they're eating dog food at the end of the month because their Social Security money ran out.
Well, ours are eating that, cat food.
Cat food.
I know, but yeah.
Okay.
I'd rather have ddog food myself.
I don't want any of them.
Probably, it's probably hardier. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but the bottom line is that people are need to plan ahead of time. Seniors, by definition, you're going to have more health issues.
No kidding.
Than somebody that's a toddler.
Right.
For the most part. I mean,
of course.
All we're talking is generalities. How long does it take to get the liquidity from the reverse mortgage?
Almost no time at all. I mean, it's back now to where you can get a reverse mortgage in roughly 30 days. I always say 45 to be safe. And, there's a lot of people that thought they were going to retire, and then this inflation's coming in, and they're giving that a second thought. Well, you know what? Get a reverse mortgage now and still retire. And a lot of other people are going to try to take Social Security later, but because of what's happening now, they may need to change their mind and take their Social Security now. Well, with a reverse mortgage, you can get what's called a term for like X amount of years. You get a monthly check, and then you put an end to that, and you take your Social Security later and get the higher amount.
There's a great concept. And, you're right. I did read a report just recently that there's a lot more people that are going back to work as happy greeters.
Oh,
right? Just because they can't afford, their retirement accounts are down so low
that
they're worried that they're going to outlive their money. And I'm not a senior, but I would imagine that that's a pretty scary feeling,
Yeah.
right? Because you don't want to go back to work. You don't want to have to do those things.
Well, most don't want to. I mean, look at me. I'm still working. I want to keep working till the day I die. But and I have too many hobbies on top of that. You can ask my wife. But
have you crossed the 10,000 records yet?
just about there, actually.
Do you have you're gonna need a few storage units, Jay.
I was thinking about that. We've got a few storage units. Why not start putting, take out 100 records at a time that you're going to be concentrating on, put the rest back, so. But sometimes if I'm up in the middle of the night, you know how old people do to go, I always walk in the quote record library room. It makes me feel good to see all the records on the walls, and then I go right back to
sleep. I think you're missing what you woke up to do, though, if you're going in the record library room.
No, I do my things first.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm just throwing that out there. It might cause a little bit of a problem there.
Well, wet records don't normally play very well, if that's what you mean. Yeah.
There we go. If you want more information about reverse mortgages, Jay Kaplan is the guru on reverse mortgages. As he's when I have questions on reverses, I call Jay or text him. But he's got the great information. He helps a lot of families. I love the heart because he's out there telling people, he tells me all the time. He says, Ron, there's not much in this, but if we can help a family, we can help a family. Right?
Yeah, that comes first.
Absolutely. So if you know a senior, if you are a senior, know a senior, want to become a senior, love a senior, educate them, get them the right information about this. You can't make a educated decision when you're not educated. And as always, I ask, set that first radio preset button to come back here and join Ron Siegel Radio, where we only speak about items affecting your house and your bank account. Thanks to all of our sponsors. A big thanks to Josh, Lovin, and Sean, who are engineering us today. And, of course, a special thanks to you for spending a little bit of our day with us. That's all for Ron Siegel Radio. Again, if you have any questions or to meet any of our guests, call me anytime, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or ronsiegelradio.com. And remember, make a lot of money so you can help a lot of people and have a lot of fun. Have a great day. We'll talk to you next time on Ron Siegel Radio.
My boss just pushed me over the limit. I'd like to call him something. I think I'll just call it a day.